All right. Hi, everybody. Today is Thursday, August 31st. Welcome to the SIG Scalability Weekly Update. This meeting is being publicly recorded and will be posted to YouTube later on. Short agenda today. We have an update from Shyam on scalability testing. Shyam, take it away.
So, like we discussed last week, I created this tracker issue tracking all the failing correctness tests on our large scale. And I've filed individual issues for each of them to the respective SIGs. And like, it seems to be quite, decent shape. Like there are kind of 5 E2E tests that are failing. And like one of them is basically an issue not related to scalability, and a couple of issues from SIG instrumentation, and one on storage. So it's relatively in a good shape. And also I changed the schedule slightly to actually run the correctness tests twice a week instead of once a week. Like previously you were running GC on Tuesdays and GKE on Thursdays. Now I changed it to run GC on both Tuesdays and Thursdays because it's a release blocking one and we wanted to run more frequently. And the performance tests, the last good run we had was today's Wednesday, was from Friday, and the test itself passed, but it was not totally green because of some check for some memory usage of some component. But the test itself passed, and it's expected to go good the next run. And yeah, so I guess at this point we are actually in a good shape. Like it should be fine to have both of those both of those jobs in release blocking.
Okay. We'll see where we are when we attempt to cut a beta.
Yep.
By the strictest definition of Nago, like everything has to be green. So right now, even though technically I'm sure the density test is passing and like meeting thresholds in performance, if the overall test is still red, then
yes,
I'm not going to be happy with that. I think I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it needs to be a solid green column, not just some of the boxes being green.
Yep. So, I'll make sure that it actually goes green.
Okay. So if we're having like stand up or tear down issues or things of that nature, we can elevate that. And this was discussed briefly during the SIG release meeting on Tuesday. They're by far not the only jobs that are red right now. So there will be a broader discussion about other jobs and whether or not it makes sense to have them in or out. But I really appreciate the effort to make sure that these are much greener than they were before. And I think bumping up the frequency of the correctness runs is the right call as well.
Mm-hmm. So when is this going to be discussed? Of what are the tests that are eventually going to go out or stay in this?
I wish I could give you a great answer to that question, and I can't. It may be the discussion that we start having during the community meeting today, but I doubt that's the right forum to make a decision. I would anticipate if we find we're having a real difficulty cutting a beta release because we can't get any builds that pass all of the tests, we will raise that issue most likely on the Kubernetes dev mailing list. And if we need to have a discussion amongst the SIG leads, we will coordinate either through the SIG leads mailing list, or we will attempt to get everybody to show up to release burn down meetings, because I forget exactly when those are supposed to start, but typically I believe those have started at the same time that code freeze goes into effect. So for a good chunk of the US, that means we have a holiday on Monday. So I expect Tuesday is when people will start paying a lot more attention to this sort of stuff, but that's just a guess off the top of my head.
Okay, thanks.
Your continued progress is greatly appreciated. I think if there's nothing else, we can call this a very record-breakingly short SIG scale meeting, just in time, Sebastian. Yeah, I was just saying, I'm not sure if we have anything else to talk about. We just wrapped up talking about the correctness and performance scalability jobs as release blockers. Okay, I think we're going to get a lot of our Thursday back. Excellent. Thank you everybody for your time, and see you next week.
Thank you.